Hey everyone, I got a great interview for you guys today. I have my friend and fellow colleague, Dejon Brooks. Dejon, thank you for taking the time to have this conversation with me today. I'm excited. We've been working for a few months together, and I'm impressed with your work ethic, your professionalism, your resourcefulness. So I'm excited to have this interview. And without further ado, Dejon, let's give everyone a quick introduction about who you are. So Dejon is
Let's
an
get
entrepreneur.
it.
He founded and started Trend Watchers. He's the founder and CEO. Started back in 2018. He worked hard, saved some money, grinded, started this business on a shoestring budget, and he's turned it into a very successful social media marketing business. And after about reaching, I believe it was just over 100 million people, right, on his personal accounts, Dejon decided that he was going to go ahead and take advantage of what he had learned, all these skills he had acquired, and decided to help other entrepreneurs, including myself. And he's helped a lot of entrepreneurs here locally, realtors and other business owners. And he's doing a lot of great stuff. And so, yeah, without further ado, Dejon, why don't you tell us a little more? Add a few more things to what I just said. But thank you for
Yeah.
being.
Yeah, and that's crazy that that number 100 million people reached across my personal brands. I was actually watching a video, I think it was like earlier this week or last week. It was saying that it's impossible to achieve nothing in 10 years. And I was really thinking about that, and I was like, wow, I've that number, it seems like delusional, impossible at first, but like just by showing up every day, like I was not only able to achieve that, but like I'm releasing a book. The book is coming out in like almost like about 2 months. Got a copy like right here, and it's just crazy as far as like what you can do just by first setting the goal, and then second just doing it, like creating daily habits to where you're showing up every day. Hey, you may lose like 4 days out of the 7 days of the week, but it's just showing up every day, like collecting feedback and just getting up stronger. And yeah, just showing up every day. So yeah, it's crazy as
No?
far as like what you can achieve over like a long period of time, especially decades. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. So Dejon, why don't you tell us a little bit about where you grew up? I know that I think you spent some time in Atlanta, Georgia, but did you grow up in Georgia?
Oh boy, that's a loaded question. All right, so I was born in Columbus, Georgia at 4:20 a.m. Just putting that out there. Stayed there for a bit, then moved to South Africa for like a couple of months. Then our family moved back to, I think it was like Alabama, then Florida, I think Georgia one more time. Then we moved to Illinois. Um, After Illinois, South Carolina, and then back to Georgia. And by
Okay.
that time, I was like around in middle school, stayed in Georgia throughout high school, graduated. I served like a 2-year mission for my church, and not the whole 2 years, it was like a little bit of time in California. Moved back to Georgia, moved back to Georgia, back at home, and then I moved out to Utah. So yeah, all over the place.
That's awesome. And how long have you been here in Utah?
It'll be 2 years a week from now. So yeah, time is flying.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I mean, and I've seen some of your personal, accounts, and man, you've accomplished quite a bit here, just locally, right, with followers and with
Hmm.
you're very involved. I mean, maybe you can speak to that a little bit. I know that you organize events and you are involved in a lot of, social activities here
Hmm.
locally.
Yeah. Um, it's funny because as far as like socially, there's so many ways I could take this. So when I first moved from like Atlanta, Georgia to Utah, I didn't know anybody here.
Right,
And yeah, I had like my grind going on online, but like I had like no social life, no dating life. So I had to find a way to like put myself out there. So I set, I think the OG goal was like meet 2 new people a day. Um, that's the politically correct way I tell people about that goal. It was actually 2 girls a day. That was the goal. And just by me doing that for 2 weeks religiously, like really staying on top of that, I was
right,
quickly able to build a social and a dating life. And that somehow turned into me like picking up an Instagram page where I post like local events going on so that I always know what's going on.
right.
Um, and so yeah, that's kind of how I got involved locally, while also fulfilling
Yeah,
my social life, the dating life, and all that stuff,
yeah.
everything outside of work.
That's exciting. Yeah. And for those of you that don't know, Dijon's single. He's 21. Yeah, and he's the catch. I knew that.
Man, I try to.
Mingle and mingling, yeah.
Yeah,
Ready to mingle. Dejon, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you started with your internet business and all this social media stuff that you do?
great question. So, I guess we'll go all the way back, and that's kind of how I start out in the book.
Mhm,
I talk about like how it all began in the beginning, and it was actually around like middle school, right?
mhm.
I Yeah, I'm like you may see an angel right here, but I was the devil in person walking there. And boy, I can get in some trouble, like at home, school, like everywhere, like
Right,
I always found a way to get in trouble. And it peaked at like middle school in like sixth grade, where like I fought the school resource officer. And long story short, my parents pulled me out of school and I was homeschooled. And I guess during this time I had like a lot of anger, a lot of like this excess energy, and I'd always go and apply that energy towards something destructive, such as like breaking all my sister's Barbies, or breaking toys, fighting somebody, something, right?
right, right, right.
And okay, so after I got like pulled out of school and I was homeschooled, I went to go see this counselor. Um, yeah, I think it was a counselor, and I remember sitting in her office. It was a nice office too. It was um, like I guess like wooden, kind of like not yeah, like wooden, like super professional, like I remember
Right,
seeing her degrees on the walls and everything. She was a
right.
sweet lady, but I just hated telling her like about my feelings, how I felt and everything. I felt like I was wasting my energy. I was wasting my fuel. um the counselor, she wasn't a bad lady. I just hated like wasting my energy like that. And I was like, okay, like something in my head at like 12. I don't know how old I was, maybe like 11, 12, 13 years old, somewhere around there. I was like, okay, like I gotta go, um, I gotta change how I'm acting. I gotta go and like apply this energy towards something productive. And once I made that click in my head, it's kind of hard to get out of counseling sessions. You gotta like show like a track record that you're changing, you're going on the right path. So yeah, I'd go into her offices, I think like once or twice a week, just telling her what she wanted to hear. Like, yeah, I'm doing good, like I haven't had a breakdown or anything. I got mad the other day. I did like step one, two, three, like we said, it was good. I told her everything she wanted to hear. And then yeah, I eventually got out of those sessions and I started applying this this excess energy towards something productive. And this something productive was like going online, learning how to like build the websites. um I wanted to learn how to code, but it was kind of hard, but I could read HTML, and just learning like all these random like online marketing skills.
Right.
And I was also posting to a YouTube channel at the time. It was like super just like super casually. I posted like maybe like 30, 40 videos, left the channel for like 6 months, came back. One of the videos had like I think like 1,000 views. I did the same thing again, left for another 6 months, came back, it had like 10,000 views, 1,000 subscribers. So that's kind of what piqued my interest as far as like YouTube. And then middle school goes by, and I go back to school for like high school.
Mhm.
It was my freshman year. I made it through that, and
Right.
I remember I remember it was like day one of summer, like in between freshman year and sophomore year. I set a goal like to become a famous YouTuber. So I went to like my friends. We went to like one of my friends' basement. We are playing Call of Duty, zombies. Great time, by the way. And I told them this goal, and they said, "Oh, you'll never make it because there's already people with like millions of followers, millions of views." And that frustrated me. It made me mad. So after that day, I went back home and I was like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. So I set a goal to post like one video a day to YouTube every day before I went outside that I would go play with them. And I did that for 100 days and nothing happened. And then this one friend of mine, he sent me a text. He was one of those guys that just like um he's cool to talk to, he like but sometimes he'll text like he'll send me over like a bunch of nonsense. I
Right.
know like brush it off, but he sent me a video to this one link and I was gonna brush it off, but I was like, now let me look at it. And it was a video of this rising trend that was going on in my niche called dank memes. That was like the trend. And I was like, this is interesting. So let me start applying this trend towards the content I'm making, like start mixing it together. I did that for 7 days, and it was my first day of sophomore year. I remember I came back from lunch back to my chemistry class, which I hated, and I checked my YouTube Studio app, and I saw 250,000 views in one day. And when I
Wow.
saw that, yeah, everything changed for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of how it all started, like the beginnings, where I got the ambition from, and why I stick to internet marketing. That's like my specialty.
Man, that's amazing. That's
Uh-huh.
amazing. What types of benefits have you seen so far just from having your own personal brand? I know that I mean there's a lot of benefits, but I'd love to hear from your unique perspective, what benefits you've seen from that.
Oh, there's so many benefits, but the first thing I want to say is that, like, with building a personal brand, it doesn't come overnight. It definitely takes some time, Like for me, my Instagram page, I've been building that for the past 3.5 years, and it's crazy to see it's crazy to see how much stuff I've accumulated on there. And just by me having that personal brand, not only showcasing business stuff, but also like the personal life, things I learned along the way, my failures, cool projects I'm working on. By me showcasing all of that, it it really people always know, I don't know, I guess like people that always feel like they're being sold to. So by you showcasing like a personal side, it brings their guards down. They're like, oh wow, he's a regular person just like me,
Right.
But but to answer your question as far as like the direct benefits, um one, having a personal brand is almost like an education. No one can really take that away from you unless you post something extremely stupid and you lose your you get canceled, That's the only way you could really lose it. You do something, you say something stupid. um Another thing I like, so last night I met someone in the elevator. We literally only met for like 20 seconds. We spoke for like 20 seconds, and then on the way out, he said, "Oh yeah, you got Instagram? I'll shoot you a follow." And we follow each other on Instagram. And probably about 2 hours ago, I look at my DMs, and he swiped up, and he pretty much said like, "Hey man, like I saw, like I was going through your page, and like, dude, like, do you have time to like talk like later today, or tomorrow, I'm actually talking to someone after this call right here." But long story short, having that personal brand, it does all the selling. It does all the selling for you, if that makes sense. It sells
Sure.
people on you, if that makes
Right.
sense. Especially at scale. Sure, you could sell people on yourself like in person through like talking with them. Um, like this, maybe you're in a Starbucks, but sometimes it's you don't have enough time to have like a full interaction to where people are able to like know exactly what you do, the results you offer for people, and vice versa. So by having a social media page to where all people got to do is glance at it and they know exactly what you do and all that stuff, like it's amazing. It's definitely a good networking tool.
Yeah.
And I actually don't like taking phone numbers, even if I genuinely want to work with you.
Yeah.
Phone numbers, um it's hard to put a face to a phone number, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Or I'm talking about for like someone you just met, and long story short, your phone just ends up being like this whole like graveyard, just like of like people you're never gonna contact, or they're not gonna contact you. But if you have like a personal brand, let's say like on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, and you're posting consistently, especially like, let's say like I like Instagram stories. It's almost like a retargeting ad towards your audience, if that
Mm.
makes sense. You're kind of showcasing like what's going on in your life, not only personally but also business wise as well. And it's so powerful as far as like showcasing maybe like case studies, testimonials you have from like your business, or literally anything you're doing, to where people will always remember you. Now I'm not saying they're going to be obsessing over you 24/7, but let's say they want they want to get into real estate. They know, oh, okay, Ramon's the guy to go talk to, or they want to do social media. Oh, Dejon's the guy I need to go talk to, because I've been watching this stuff on like Instagram, YouTube, or whatever. So having a personal brand, it's almost like a free retargeting ad, if that makes sense. You're constantly like warming up your audience, and part of our audience is also the people you meet in person. I like having them to go follow that, so that I'm able to kind of get them inside my orbit, and I know
Right.
within like a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks or months, they're eventually going to cave in and they're going to be like, hey man, you probably don't remember me, but we met at a Starbucks like 4 months ago, and like I've been following you for the past. I get those all the time because of like the way how I have everything set up. So those are probably like the direct benefits I've noticed from having a personal brand online.
Yeah, which is funny, it reminds me of, and I think it's a funny story how we met, right? We
Mm-hmm.
were at a Starbucks, and I was sitting there working on right a case for the law firm that I'm a partner at, and I'm trying to concentrate, right, a real important case,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm reading case law, and then all of a sudden I hear somebody talking right there next to me, and I think you said something like, "Man, I would love to be able to meet somebody whom I can help, like, what did you say, like raise hundreds of millions of dollars for, and be able to make a nice chunk of money,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and by creating that kind of value, right? You're bringing those connections,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny because you didn't know this, but for weeks or months leading up to that, like we had been talking about that here with leadership, at the 501k, right? We've been talking
Mm-hmm.
about it. And I love that, that's, if you want to call it a coincidence, I don't believe in coincidences, but that was awesome. Hear you say
Yeah.
that you're talking to somebody else, and got your info, and here we are a few months later, and we're working together, and we're doing some cool
Uh-huh.
things.
Yep. I think I tried kidding you on Instagram, but you're like, no, I don't have Instagram. Here go my number. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So Dejon, tell me something. So, there's all this hype and all this talk about AI, right? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
there's so much information out there on AI, and so many people building their businesses on that platform, on ChatGPT, right, as a platform. And I'm curious to hear kind of your perspective. And are you planning on taking advantage of AI in some sort of way to do what you do? Have you started to? What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, so I love AI as far as like it's good as far as like generating content ideas, especially like email marketing. I'm still like crafting ways as far as like how to put all the pieces together, because I know how to run like Facebook ads, like email marketing. I know how to
Right,
do like just like content creation as far as like short form, long form. So like combining all these pieces together to where you're able to have not only a machine that like goes viral and you're able to reach the masses, but also to where like people are able to make money. At the end of
right,
the day, I love getting people results. Hey, making money is nice, but just seeing just being able to see that like your actions improve someone else's life in a positive way, it just makes me feel like just really good inside. I think it was over the weekend I was hosting like a mocktail pool party just for fun out the blue. I'll throw something like once a month, and I bought like all like the ingredients and stuff. It was like $100, like all the sodas, all the syrups, the bases, the lemonade, like 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 all that stuff, right?
right.
And I remember I even had like my speaker too playing my music, and I have good music too, and just watching people, just like they're going in, like having a good time, listening to the music, they're dancing, they're
Yeah,
coming inside the apartment complex clubhouse to make themselves like a mocktail drink, they're going back outside, having a
right.
good time, and I'm like, whoa, like they're having a good time because of me, that makes me feel so good. And um, so yeah, like for me, I'm all about like getting people results. Sometimes that may take a little while because there's like just like constant like testing, constantly just like trying to like you build out a system, but there's like a little uh what's the word? Like a flaw within there, going in and like fixing that problem. That process is a bit tedious, but I'm all about getting people like results. That's what makes me happy. But as far as like AI, definitely like leveraging it towards like email marketing and just I'm not a fan of using it towards like creating content, like video content,
Right.
because I'm all about like authentic storytelling. That's kind of how I've been able to like build my personal brand, just by being authentic. Like, and part of that's like showing my face, showcasing the wins, the losses, and all of that stuff. And AI, it's computer generated, It may look close to like to something that like I could make myself, but it's just not authentic, if that makes sense. And the number one way to okay, all right. So the number one way to when I guess like when it comes to making money online, no matter what industry you're in, it all comes down to trust. And the best way to build up that trust is through content. Um, so let's say someone's reading like an Instagram post or like a short form video of yours.
Right.
That piece of content, it's slowly warming people up as far as like building trust in you. But let's say someone watched like a 10-minute, 15-minute video of you on YouTube, that one piece of content will increase their trust in you by a lot more because they're investing more time into you, if that makes sense. And if what you're saying, like, it makes sense, you don't sound too crazy, and it's of value, it'll pull up people's trust even more. And that's why books are so powerful, because like with the book, like, shoot, it may take like a month, a couple weeks or so to get through the book, and you're investing all that time into a particular person. It may not have to be me, but it could be like Tony Robbins, anybody, like Russell Brunson, anybody. So the number one thing when it comes to like making money online or just converting people online through your personal brand, it's going to come down to trust and using. And when you use like AI generated content, especially people catch you with it as well, they could tell it's AI generated. There's a chance you could like break that trust, if that makes sense.
Right.
And yeah, I'm just not a fan of going down that route. Not saying we can't use AI completely. I like using AI to like generate ideas to kind of like get me moving in a general direction. But as far as like having AI to going out there, copying my face, my voice, and everything, it's moving around as if it was me. No, I don't touch that.
Yeah. Cool. So, Dejon, if you don't mind, I'd like to switch gears just a little bit. I'd like to be able to touch on something you've already talked about a bit.
Yeah.
And, you talked about, you were about 11 or 12, got into trouble, right? You got into a fight with, was it a security guard at the school?
The resource officer, yeah.
Resource officer, right? So, and this is nothing new, right? Everybody listening knows this. I mean, youngsters, that age and even older, right? In fact, even some grown adults, right, have issues with anger problems. A lot of times it's rooted in trauma or pain or some suffering, something, right? It's any number of things. I mean, I'd love to see if we could kind of delve into that a little bit. So if you don't mind me asking, right, what is it that you remember, right? It's been some time, right? It's 21 now, but it's been some time. Do you remember what it was that was causing you to have anger issues at that age? Just to start as a starting point, right? And then I'd like to go into kind of how you were able to convert that, right? Because a lot of youngsters don't convert that, right? Then they go from being angry to being more angry and getting into trouble and catching felonies and going to prison and ruining their entire lives, right? So or it could just be they turn into bitter adults, right? But I'd love to be able to just initially talk a little bit about what was it that was going on in your life at that time, if you can remember, that was bothering you, that was causing you to feel a lot of anger.
I don't think I can pinpoint what was making me. I think I was just being hard-headed, I just like breaking things, It was like it was fun just like breaking things, putting it back together and everything, I was just being hard-headed. But I can answer that question as far as like yeah, actually like with YouTube, there was like pains behind that I can go and track. And if that's cool, if I can answer the question that way. Yeah. So when I like my spreadsheets, I like my Google documents, just to like, I like looking at the past and like looking for reoccurring events, if that makes sense. I think I made an Instagram post about it last year, but long story short, I was able to track all of my big leaps forward in life towards some sort of rejection from some sort of girl, if that makes sense.
Wow, okay.
It's crazy, yeah. So back in, like freshman year of high school, there was so before the first day of summer, there was this girl that I I saw.
This is gonna be good.
It was the last day of school, and I remember I was going through the crowds, making my way to the bus, and I remember looking, I don't know, left or right, and almost like the sea split, and there was this one girl. She looked at me. I remember her name. She was mixed. Her name was Eve, and I remember she looked at me, and she smiled and waved, and and then I never saw. Yeah, like it hopped on the bus, and it always had me wondering, So I kind of used that as like, shoot, like I gotta set my game up, so I gotta become YouTube famous. So that was the fuel for that. And then yeah, I was actually able to get YouTube to pop off like when school started back up again, my
Right.
sophomore year. But yeah, that didn't go anywhere. Whew, yeah, I don't like that out there. We still stay in touch, not like we talk or anything, but like she'll see my posts, I'll see your posts.
Yeah.
Um, as far as like trend watchers, me starting like that software company at 18 years old, there was
Sure.
this one girl that I grew up with. Yeah, we were friends for the longest, and then naturally, we just started like hanging out more, growing close to each other, and to the point to where like we were getting into like relationship territory, and then out of nowhere, she started like, um, that was back. And there's not wrong with being a nice guy, but like I was a pushover back in the day. I was always saying yes, 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 and she noticed I say yes to anything, so she'd take advantage of me, and ultimately, it took me a while to catch on, and when I caught on, I was really frustrated. Like, that really made me frustrated to the point to where like I was super bitter and angry, and I used that fuel to go and start a software company that now has like over 12,000 users on there. It was a grind, and I should not have made it that far because software is really hard to get traction on, but I was able to plow through all the hurdles just by going and using that pain as fuel to go and reach my goals. Now we spoken since we had like closure. We forgive each other and everything. But like I used that pain as fuel to go out there and reach my goals. What else? What else? What else?
Well, if I
I
can
got yeah, yeah.
interject for just a moment.
Mhm.
So, where did you get the idea from to use that, right? To channel that frustration and that anger, to channel that into business, because that's not something that's automatic for most people, right? Uh,
Mhm.
that's not. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, if you listen to certain people on YouTube, right, they talk about that, and that's and I believe in that, right? Channeling energy,
Mhm.
right? So turning heartbreak into massive success. But where did you get that idea from? Who told you about this? Where did it come from?
I don't I'd probably say in middle school, if that made sense. As I was like, all right, so when I was homeschooled, um, I treated it like I treated it every day. Copy and paste on the internet. Good times. I was finished at like 9 a.m. in the morning, leaving me the whole like every day too. And I'd have like the whole day to do whatever. And eventually playing video games gets boring. So like as I was learning different skills, um, I would collect like these small wins from like maybe I made like a cool website, maybe I made like $5 from like a little online sale or whatever. But I was collecting these small wins, and I was slowly building wins underneath my belt. And when I got that big win from the YouTube story in high school, that's when I really got that paradigm change as far as like whoa, like I could put my mind and energy into anything, and with enough time and showing up every day, I can achieve that desired goal. So it was probably just like an accumulation of wins underneath my belt, and then along with that paradigm shift, uh, back when my YouTube channel like took off that first day of school in sophomore year. So that's probably where I got the idea from. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So one of the things I've also noticed with you, right, just in the short time that we've been working together, I noticed you got this kind of this discipline and this work ethic that it's not very common for guys your age, right? I mean,
hmm
where did you pick that up?
Discipline. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, good question. So I actually bought a $2,000 personal development course at 18 years old.
Wow.
And yeah, it was funny. The guy, his name was Sam Ovens, and I remember when I first found this content online, just bangers. I love this. Like it was like super simple, just super high value, and it was like changing my mindset and everything. And I remember I saw his course, and I was like $2,000. Oh no, no way! I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna stick to this free content on YouTube. So I kept on watching the free content on his YouTube channel, and eventually I went through all like I think like 200 videos on there, and those suckers were long too. And um I just wanted more, I was craving more, and the only way to get more was to buy the course. So yeah. I went and spent the money, and as I hit purchase, I was like, boy, this better work. And as I was going through the course,
Yeah.
lots of great value in there, but the biggest thing that really helped me was it was week 2, it was the mindset training.
Mhm.
And people don't have business problems, they have personal problems that show up within their business. And really with the mindset training, it was all about like focusing on me. And one thing that I really took away from that mindset training that I still apply to this day is that like okay, like I'm like all right, so all the actions I've done like in the past got me to where I'm at right now. Same thing of you, right?
Right.
So if I keep on doing the same actions, I'm gonna still be here.
Right.
But if I want to achieve my desired goal, which is like up here, and I'm like right here, I got to change. I got to change my inputs, if that makes sense. I got to change
Sure.
myself to where I'm worthy to have my desired result, which is up here. And part of this self evaluation worksheet, not worksheet, but exercise that was provided in this mindset training was like writing down like everything about your current self right now, such as like your strengths, your weaknesses, what do I like doing, what do I hate doing, um do I have any grudges against anyone, what are bad habits do I have, what are good habits do I have, I mean everything,
Right. Yeah.
and so I'll answer that for my current self, and then I'll kind of create like I'll duplicate the document and I'll answer those same questions again and be like, okay, the Dejon that's like right here at my desired result, what good habits does he have, what bad habits does he not have anymore, um just like just answering all those questions, kind of like crafting my new character, if that makes sense. And once
Yeah.
I'm done crafting my new character, um I just just I just go and like do the things that are on that
Great.
worksheet for the new character, and then I'll automatically hit my goals.
That is
um
powerful. I've
yeah.
never heard anybody talk about that. That is powerful. Where'd you get that from? Is that just a unique idea that you came up with, or
That was in the course that I
in the
learned about
course?
18 years old, yeah.
Wow,
Uh-huh.
that is cool. I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
really strong.
visualizing this as you're talking, but I'm like, man, this is powerful. This is powerful.
Hmm.
Wow.
And that was one thing also. He had like this Google, I think I may have showed you it before, but it's like a Google sheet, but it's built out in a calendar form to where you kind of like plan out your week. I know some people may use like Google Calendar. For him, he used like this Google sheet to where you can kind of go in at the end of the day and the mark the line as green, red, or yellow if something came up, and something like, all right, green is complete, red is like I didn't complete it, yellow is an external force, something I couldn't control prevented me from completing the task, but I was going to go do it anyway. That's what
Right.
yellow meant. But that really helped me. uh, it taught me multiple things. One, like the importance of like just like taking control of my life, taking control of my time, because I remember, yeah, time flies like this, if you don't take control of it,
Right.
you're gonna waste a lot of time. So it really made me think at the beginning of each week as far as like, okay, what do I want to achieve this week? What will make this week successful? And once I'd have those like 2 to 3 goals like defined for the week, I will next like chunk it out for each day. Like, okay, what tasks do I need to do each day to where I'll automatically hit my weekly goals, which point
Mhm.
towards my monthly goals. So I learned how to go and just like good habits as far as like planning, time management, and yeah. So I learned all that from him. So that's how I got disciplined from that course for
Wow.
$2,000, and worth every penny. Yeah.
I love that. Dijon, can you give me an tough question, right? But can you give me your top 3 books? I'd love to know, for those people that are listening, maybe that are 18, right, or 19, and
Hmm.
maybe they can't afford the $2,000 to get that course, but maybe they can go out and buy a book or two, right? What would be
Hmm.
your top 3 books that you'd recommend to somebody who's trying to level up the way that you've leveled up?
Hmm. Yeah, so the first book is my book. Now I'm playing. um,
Surprise, surprise.
yeah, definitely. I think it's the 80/20 rule. I forgot who it's by, but that book really taught me as far as like how to, um, because leverage is really powerful. So just teaching like teaching my brain how to go out there and spot high leverage activities, if that makes sense. Like cutting the stuff that doesn't work and focusing on the stuff that produces 80% of the results. That
Sure.
one, The Magic of Thinking Big, and then How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book there was life-changing for me. Read it back in high school. But back on the your comment about like purchasing a high ticket program, um even if you're struggling,
Yeah.
try to make it work still, because I noticed like I bought courses before in the past, like $5, $10, I think even like $500 as well. But when I spent an uncomfortable amount of money, something that made me yeah, like really uncomfortable, I noticed a couple things. The first thing I noticed was that like I was what's the best way to say it? I spent so much money. I at least wanted to break even, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So by me wanting to at least break even, I was I was I was valuing the course. I was showing up every day, getting as much information as I could so that I could at least like break even on my investment. And the cool thing is that like once you break even, now you got a machine or a system to like generate income. You just do it all over and over again, and now you're in the green. So that, and also, it wasn't this program. I bought another program for like $12,500. It was like a sales program, and I remember like being in the Discord, like the little community, and the people in there. These weren't like your average Joes, like people. And I'm not, and I'm not trashing on them, but like
Sure.
these were people that were like going somewhere. I remember this one guy I was talking to, he was like, yeah, I got like $500,000. I need to go invest somewhere. I'm like, whoa, like everyone in there, they had like big like goals. And um it was a way to put yourself in a room with other high achievers or people that had like a strong, like similar mindset that wanted a better life. So that was two things I learned from just like not being cheap and just spending the money. Of course,
Right.
do your research, but yeah.
Right. No, that makes sense.
hmm
So similar question. Thank you for sharing that with us. So who are the three top people that you listen to, that you follow on YouTube and Instagram? Um, and I'm sure there's a lot more than three, but who would be the top three?
So those top three, they're always changing. So you remember how I said the actions I've done before in the past, it's a result of like who I am and where I'm at today.
Right.
Part of that is also the people you listen to. So periodically, if I want to like change my results in life, not only do I adjust my habits, but maybe I got three people I'm listening to at this time in my life. I may drop one of them. Even if I love them, I gotta drop them and I add someone else into the flow. And their way of thinking, their way of how they do things, it allows me to like change things within like my personal or business life, subconsciously or consciously, to where I'm able to go and change my results. So those people, they're always changing. But
Right.
really, my top three will probably be, it's just a lot of like men's self-improvement channels. I got so many that really helped me. But I like Aaron Doughty. He's like just like um energy, law of attraction, law of vibration, the concept of like letting go and like attracting people and opportunities into your life. Not saying you're sitting in bed waiting for them to come your way, but like putting out like a good energy to where people like they want to come and like join your frame.
Sure.
I've really been digging this one guy named Rom Wills. I told you a bit about him, but he has some really good stuff. Just like it just gets me thinking. Him. And then who else? I'm trying to think. There's so many people. I probably say Sam Ovens. He really helped me as far as like um just getting my life in order at 18 years old. I
Yeah.
still watch some of his stuff. So yeah, those are my top three people.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
hmm
Um, we're gonna change it up just a bit. So you're 21, learned quite a bit, you've gone through a lot, and there's so much more still left, right?
hmm
But right now, right, the guy that you are right now, if you could go back in time, jump on a time machine, right, and go
hmm
back and talk to the 11-year-old, right, that was just kind of rambunctious or just kind of had some anger problems or whatever way you want to describe it, right? You
hmm
can go back to talk to him. if you could run into him, right, just walking down the street and give him some advice, or we'll say not run into him, but walking alongside him, right? For some reason, you're walking alongside him, and you have a short, just a few seconds or maybe a minute or so to be able to give him some advice. What would you tell your 11-year-old self, knowing what you know now?
Buy Bitcoin and start a YouTube channel earlier. Man,
Yeah.
but actually when I was back in middle school, so there's this online game called Roblox, and I'll do like as a side hustle, I'd sell like accounts or like items, and there was 3 different ways to get paid. You can get paid with like the game currency, PayPal, or Bitcoin. And I remember seeing Bitcoin like $5-10 per coin, like a long time ago. And I was like, oh no, I don't want no Bitcoins. Oh man, yeah.
What about as far as mindset and perspective on life? Is there anything you would tell them besides, because the two things you mentioned are more about making money, right? So is there anything mindset wise that you would share with your 11-year-old self?
Man, I don't know. I know I'm trying not to give you the cliche answer like, oh, I wouldn't change anything, uh because like I guess like as I was not only growing up, but even now I did like a good job as far as like documenting like my journey, like just by like journaling, even like a video journal. Um yeah, I have no idea. I guess like learn more skills or something, like read more books. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Because like for me, whenever if I want to do something, I just go out there and do it. I don't really wait till tomorrow. So I don't have too, of course I got some regrets, but I don't have too many regrets that I'm just like banging on the wall, like, dang it.
Right. No, no,
That
right.
makes sense. Yeah.
And it's not so much regrets. It could be, right? But I was thinking more like just something that would be just a little pearl of wisdom that you could drop on your little 11-year-old self, something that would make his life a little bit easier, a little bit better, a little bit more efficient. He could be a little more efficient, a little more productive, or maybe something that would, translate into you now 21 being, 10 times further along, on your journey.
Mm-hmm. Probably try new things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like try more things. Yeah. That's the only I can really think.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Dejon, final question. And you've heard this before, right? Everybody who's incredibly successful always talks about the importance of having a mentor.
Mhm.
And that could take many different forms. Do you currently have any mentors? And so, who are they? And it could be somebody you watch on YouTube religiously. So it could lead back to that, or it could actually be people that you actually, right, that you do meet with on a regular basis or once in a while. Do you have mentors, and who would be your top 3 mentors? Is the
So
question.
I do have an accountability partner. We'll hop on a Zoom call once a month to kind of go over our goals and everything. We're the same age. He makes like 20K a month. It's crazy.
Nice.
Going on 50K a month. So yeah, he's on the up and up for sure. But as far as like mentors, I'm taking the digital mentor approach. I'm not really talking to anyone right now. Like one-on-one, meeting with them regularly or whatever.
Sure.
It's like, okay, if I want to get good at like doing outreach or Facebook ads, or let's say real estate, I'll go and I'll find a guru on YouTube or even Instagram, someone that I like their energy, I like their their charisma, their swag, their personality, whatever you want to call it. And if they're
Sure.
getting good results as well, like I'll just latch on to them and just watch their stuff 24/7. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now, as far as like I got one for like short form content, really learning how to just absorbing everything from this guy as far as like learning how to make the most out of short form, not to and not only as far as like getting more views, going viral, but also getting like a financial ROI on it, figuring out different ways to do that. So I got one for that. Who else do I have? I'm trying to think of it without looking at um my current mentor. I brought him up, Rom Wills. So he's a mentor of mine just as far as like thinking, if that makes sense. Almost like an elder I can look up to and give me like a whole new perspective on the world. Not only actually not even business. We're talking about like relationships, even the way how I think about myself. So one thing I've been doing lots of research about is like your presentation, um, and how the people you attract into your life is a direct representation of you, if that makes sense. So I think he had a video also like forgiveness is for yourself. I was watching more videos today this morning. Um, what was it? Like go where you're appreciated. Just like so many
Yeah.
just like life lessons, you know what I'm saying? That really gets me thinking about life, like to where like I'm able to go and enjoy the moment, like with friends, dating, like even by myself, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, definitely him. He's more of like the you could say life coach. That'll be a good title. Um, third mentor. There are some ladies I follow on Instagram. They got like half a million followers, but they all got like New York Times bestsellers books. So they've kind of been a mentor as me. Like I don't talk to them. I just see their content, but like it's like an inspiration for me as far as like me pushing my book out there, seeing my face on a billboard, you know, having the Amazon bestseller title. So
Sure.
that's kind of how I that's kind of my current form of mentors right now, you know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
been doing that for a while.
That's cool. Thank you.
Hmm.
And I lied. I got one more question for you.
Let's
So,
get it.
so right now, what would you say? Because we'll probably end up doing another conversation like this. A few months, a few years from now, right? We don't know. But I'd love to hear from you right now. What are your, if you have top three goals, I'd love to hear your top three goals that you have right now. If not top three, maybe at least one, the one burning desire that you got right now that you're working on passionately that you have your sights set on.
Yeah, let me look at my. I think one, two, three, four. Okay. I would like to have 100 doors. That'll be cool, you know. That'll be cool. A million YouTube followers. I'm actively working on that right now.
Sure.
Um, a New York Times bestseller. That'll be cool to have. I need the big audience first, so I'm going for the Amazon bestseller right now. That's a lot easier to achieve at my current size. And then 100,000 users on Trend Watchers. It's not that hard to go reach that. Just gotta like pay some influencers for some influencer marketing, and then people will come over to the site. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I got them
Great.
on my whiteboard back there. So yeah, I see
Nice.
them every
Thank you,
day.
Dejon. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love those goals. Well, Dejon, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you for, for being so open and genuine and sharing with us a little bit about yourself. If somebody wants to follow you, how can they follow you? What are your handles?
Yeah, so there's two ways to go find me online on Instagram at Dejon_Brooks. That's Dejon underscore and then Brooks. Or you could just go do a Google search, Dejon Brooks, everything will show up. So yeah. But thank you for having me on the podcast, you know, like
Yeah,
on
it's
your
my
show.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Good
exciting.
time for
Thank you
sure.
for your time. I appreciate it.